Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Greeks channel. I am Kostis, and today I have with me another guest. She's beautiful, she's smart, she's funny, and she has a beautiful voice. I've heard you sing along. She's the one and only Alesia Michelle.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Such a wonderful intro.
Yeah, thank you for accepting the invitation. I, it was like I really wanted you here, but you have to know that there were people in the comments who asked for you as well.
Okay, uh-oh.
Yes, I recently started this section with guests, and there was one person in Greek person. He wrote in Greek. His name is Lambros Foukas. It's a shout out, and he said, "I love what you're doing. I hope you bring my favorite, Alicia Michelle." And there you
Well,
are.
thank you. Thanks for the shout out. And it's so nice to be here, honestly. I love talking Eurovision, so
I know,
yeah.
right? Well, you're American. How come, how did you learn about Eurovision? How did this start for you?
Yeah, well, so the first year that I tell people I'm like, I feel like there were little reminders and pockets of me being exposed to Eurovision without me knowing that, like, oh, that was a Eurovision song. So I feel like there were things like that. And then finally, and I think also too, a lot of it just being the internet, I think now we're so global and we're so interconnected in ways that like we weren't always. So now it's like easy to kind of find out about artists in different countries and stuff like that. But once upon a time, when we were just living in dial-up world, it was a little bit more tricky. I mean, I remember even checking out a book from the library that was like the history of Eurovision. Like that's like part of it.
What?
But but I would say really when it all came together was a friend of mine who's Greek. Her
Okay.
family's Greek. They were saying like, oh, well, we're going back home because Eurovision's happening. I was like, wait, what? Like, what is that? So it was the year that Lordi won. And so
Yes,
that's
when
sort of what
Eurovision
made
happened
it.
in Greece, yeah.
Yeah, so that I would say was when I was like, okay, this is like a competition. And then I would say there were moments where I was like, oh, and like this group that I really like I was an ABBA fan. And so I
Okay,
sort of
yeah.
remember hearing things about like their history and kind of like how they got big and whatnot. So I sort of knew without really knowing, but I would say like 2006 is when it like all came together. Like, oh, okay, this is what that thing is. Like, oh, all right.
And when did you start reacting?
So basically 2015 is when I launched my YouTube channel. Well,
Okay.
I would say I had a YouTube channel, but like 2015 was when I was like, okay, I'm going to start talking about Eurovision because before that I wrote for like fan sites. So I wrote for ESC Plus and then I wrote for ESC Extra.
Okay.
So, but like even there, like I was writing and I really wanted to like connect with people because even though we had Twitter, it was like I feel like I talk about Eurovision, but it's not like I had like friends per se.
Yes.
And so I actually had like an ex-boyfriend who he was really into like YouTube videos and he would sit and watch them and he's like, Alicia, like you should do like a YouTube channel, like you actually have equipment, like he's like, I watch things and the quality is really bad, like you could do something like better. And so, because I was sort of then having this gap of like talking about Eurovision, writing articles, but not feeling like really tied to like the community, that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to start a channel. And at the time, um, there like my stuff was very like vlog style, so it would be
Mm-hmm.
topics and things. And at the time, there really wasn't a lot of content on YouTube. Like now, there's a ton of people you can
Now,
get.
yeah, it's
Yeah, like there's a ton of content, but at the time, like even Wee Wee blogs at the time wasn't doing a ton of like their
okay.
content was still very like related to the event, interviews, like more news style as opposed to like kind of like a personal. And I don't know if you remember like Bethany Moda. So I was kind of like I want to be like the Bethany Moda for like Eurovision, where it's like a girl in her room kind of thing, talking
Yeah.
that you can connect with. So. Yeah.
Okay. And what's your connection with music? Because you sing well. Have you had like lessons and stuff?
Yeah, so growing up, I did musical theater, so I sang and
Mm.
performed a lot, and then after going to college, like I majored in broadcast journalism, and so then I just worked in music radio. So I was like an on-air host, and did a lot of music radio. I did. The joke is there is an EP that exists.
Oh, there
Um,
is. Okay.
yeah. And some people have like found like my music video. Like I think I have like one official music video and then one that I would say is like more like a fun project. But
Oh,
yeah,
I
some
haven't
people have
seen
found
these
them.
things. I want to see them.
It's on the internet.
I will look it up.
Yeah, but yeah, I like music. I've always loved music and grew up in like a really like musical house. My mom was like in the choir, so I was like a kind of like choir kid. Like my mom was, in the gospel choir. So growing up kind of in the church in and around music and everything. So I like music.
Nice, nice. So, okay, let's start talking Eurovision. Are you ready? Great. So, should we do semifinals? Should we start from there?
Okay.
Let's start with semifinal one. Do you believe there are certain qualifiers there?
Yeah, let me get my notepad. My
Mm-hmm.
famous every year I've got like a notepad and it gets completely beat up.
Yeah.
Um,
It's their
this year
first
I'll
year. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
oh no, I'm saying like it'll get totally beat up, but I this will be my first year where maybe it'll just be like one notepad. I'm trying to make this one notepad work for the whole season. Normally I have about two notepads that I kind of work
Okay.
with. So yeah, like I think I kind of said where I'm living from semifinal one, which is our semifinal of death. The
Yeah.
only ones that I feel really sure about are Finland, Czechia, Sweden, Israel, and Norway. That's what I feel like sure about. And then everything
Okay.
else is kind of, and then I have like a bucket that's like most likely. So to me, it's like Serbia, Croatia, Moldova, and like I think that last spot is tricky because I think the Netherlands got like a good running order position to where they could advance. But I would prefer to see Portugal or Latvia, I think, in that space.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you. Like, yeah, Latvia. I want Latvia. I know it's not as hyped, but I really like the song. And Portugal, I think it's kind of a certain qualifier for me. Like,
I'm worried about it because I mean it's a tough semi. So I'm worried about it. And
yeah, it
because it's
is.
in the first half, that's what makes me nervous about Portugal. Not because of the song, not because of the performance. Really just I think it coming so early makes me a little bit nervous. I think with Latvia, I think a lot of people like it. And so that's why I'm sort of like, I think we're all nervous about it just because Latvia hasn't been doing well. But
Mm,
I want it to make it.
me
And I
too.
think there's a world where it could make it. But in order for it to make it, I think Croatia would have to would have to take a step back. And I don't know if that's gonna happen. And
No, I don't think. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure Croatia is going to qualify. I think the
right.
one that might not qualify, that's an unpopular opinion here, but I think it might be Czechia.
Oh no, 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 it's in. I
Have you
think it's
seen the
in.
live performances?
I don't care about those because those are pre-parties. It's not the big stage. I mean, even I think
But
I would say,
the
but
national
remember
final?
last year? Well, yeah, but that didn't count either because that wasn't like a real stage performance.
True,
That's
true,
not going to
true.
be what they're going to do in Liverpool. And I mean, I think people were worried about Czech Republic last year because they were like, oh yeah, her vocal, the pre-parties, whatever. But I was like, no, like I think it's gonna make it. And it did, and it comfortably made it last year. So I
Yeah.
think for the most part, like I think on the stage, and I think also too for us in the bubble, because we've had the song longer than some of
Mm.
the other songs, I think we're forgetting our first impression of the song. And I think our first impression is more likely what most folks are gonna get. And
That's
a lot
true.
of
That's very
people's
true.
first, yeah, and a lot of people's first impression when we got Czechia was like, oh, this is now possibly one of our winners this year. So
Yeah, but we
I
didn't
think
have many songs as well.
true, but I think there's a reason why Czechia is still in top 10 in the betting odds.
True. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just say it because there's always like a surprise non-qualifier in the semifinals, and I have a feeling that it might be Czechia this year. I
To
hope not
me,
because I like the song, but yeah. But I
where
also
I
put
would be
Latvia.
most, oh, but see, but where I would be looking at a surprise non-qualifier,
Would be Loreen. No, I'm kidding.
nah, I'm a little bit worried for anything that feels like a well-produced pop song. And I said this from the beginning because I just think the trends of the televote have been for more different out of the box stuff. And so that's
Mm,
why I kind of feel like Croatia most likely is going to qualify. That's why I feel like Serbia most likely is going to qualify.
agreed.
Um, and same with Moldova. I think Moldova is most likely
Hopefully, hopefully.
qualify. Yeah, I think it'll be okay. So
Yeah.
if I'm saying that, then that makes me a little bit nervous about like in Israel, because this is the thing. I loved Israel last year. I know some people did not like the song. Like I remember that. But to me, I was just like, but the stage show is going to be so good. And I feel like with Israel this year, you have some people again in the fandom that don't like the song. And and like I said, last year I was like in the minority. I was like, I actually don't mind this song. Like, no, it's not like something I want to bang like in my car on repeat. But like as a song that's like supposed to be a visual and a show, I think it's good. That
Yeah.
that was my opinion. I was like, I think it's good. And I think just unfortunately, but and also I thought the stage show was great last year. I think Israel is in a better place because I think the running order for it is pretty good. And they're in the second half, so it might be memorable. But I fear for it only because that stage show could be really slick and good, just like it was last year. And maybe people are just like, yeah, but like we've heard this before or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I believe that it has a very strong following Israel this year. It's like I think it will qualify. I cannot see a universe where it will not. But yeah, it's a very interesting topic in this channel because we are from the people that said we actually said that we like the song and we think it will do well. But because we said that the lyrics are questionable a little bit for us, we've had a lot of interesting comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I think it's good. I think it's gonna look great on the stage, but like I think about like an Albina, Croatia, like I thought that it looked good. The hook was strong. And although it qualified with the televote, it was still borderline. And that was a tough semi, like that Croatia was in. We're talking about Eurovision 2021.
yeah.
That was a tough semi that year. And so we knew that we were probably going to lose one of the pop girlies. But honestly, after seeing the staging and the performance, I was kind of like, oh no, like Croatia might actually make it through, but then it didn't
Yeah.
by 1 point. By 1 point, it didn't make it in, and Norway got in, by the skin of their teeth. So I don't know. I think I I actually like the Netherlands song, but I would also say in my qualifiers, like I think currently a lot of people think Switzerland's qualifying, and I'm
Like
worried for it.
if I had to choose one of these two ballads, I think I would choose Switzerland.
Oh, of between Netherlands and Switzerland.
Yes, yeah. Like
Okay.
if one
To
of them has to qualify, I would choose Switzerland, I think.
to me, I think I prefer what the Netherlands is offering, maybe
Okay.
because it's a duet. It feels a little bit
Mm.
fresher. And like last year, we had so many of the like kind of what we call them like our sad boys. So maybe I'm a
Yeah.
little bit like sad boyed out because just last year we had so many. And mind you, I mean, I liked our sad boys last year for the most part. I think like yeah, I mean, I liked what Australia did last year. I liked what
Yeah, me too.
Azerbaijan did last year. So maybe this year I'm just sort of like, Remo, sorry, last year
Yeah.
was your year that maybe
Yeah,
I could
yeah.
have
You missed
been.
the train. Yeah.
Yeah. And now this year I'm like, no, I'm focused on my pop girls. Like
Okay.
that's sort of, so maybe that's what it is. But I think where Switzerland is in the running order, I don't think that that was a good spot to put them. Like I can get the logic of why they're there,
Hmm.
but I might have, if I wanted Switzerland to be in a good spot to qualify, I don't think that that's where I would have
Yeah,
put
that's
them.
fair. Also, my brain has destroyed Switzerland song this year because he says I don't want to be a soldier, but because of my accent, it sounds like shoulder. So then I changed the lyrics and I'm just singing I don't want to be a shoulder, shoulder. I just want to be a different body part. And I've just changed all of the lyrics and it's horrible now in my head.
I mean, I just think if I like, and I would say what I would want to see advance is very different than what I think is actually going to
Okay, what would
advance.
you want to see advance? What are your 10
Oh,
qualifiers?
solidly, I would say, because Portugal and Latvia I need. So
Yeah.
to me, it'd be like Portugal, Latvia, Moldova, Serbia, Finland, Czechia, Sweden, Israel, Norway. That's what I would want
I think you
to
said
see
nine.
advance. No, Norway, Israel, Sweden, Czechia, Finland, Serbia, Moldova, Portugal, Latvia. Oh, Malta. That's
Malta.
what I would
Ah,
want.
Malta. Yes,
Yeah,
Malta.
that's what I would want to see advance. Malta. I
Yeah.
left off Malta. Yeah.
I
But
don't I don't believe that Malta will qualify, although it's a very fun song and it would be good in the mix to have it in the mix at the final. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of why I'd want to see it advance. And honestly, if they weren't going to have Ireland open, I'm kind of bummed they don't have Malta opening because I would have had Norway close out the first half.
Mm,
That's and because I would have wanted people to wait for Alessandra because this is a song that maybe some folks have already heard,
yeah.
so that's why I kind of was like, I would make people wait and like I would want to kind of have her punctuate the middle part of the
Yeah.
semifinal. But I would start with the party that Malta's going to be giving.
I
Yeah.
know, right? They
Yeah.
did some weird choices this year. And with the second semifinal. Okay, let's go to the
Yeah.
second semifinal.
Yes.
So the weird choice for me is second Armenia. Why? Why?
It's weird because I went back to my reaction because at one point I was like, yeah, maybe they could have just had Armenia open. But I remember when I did my reaction, I was like, well, this doesn't feel like an opener. Like
No, no,
it's
no.
good, but it doesn't feel like an opener. And so I think looking at semifinal two,
Yeah.
I would kind of say like looking at the running order. Now, to be fair, I like Denmark's song, and I know some people don't like it, but I do like Denmark's song. But I still wouldn't have had it, open
Opening.
the
Yeah, that's
show. But I like the song. But yeah, like I might have given an opener to Belgium. I'm I might
Belgium.
have even I might have even considered opening with Cyprus. And I know Cyprus has opened has opened shows before, but they're so, I mean, I think Cyprus opening the show could have been cool because we know their staging's going to be good. I think Andrew's a good looking guy. I
It's
think he'll
bit.
sound, yeah, like he'll sing it well. So I'm like, we could have done anthemic Belgium. We could have done, Cyprus, which even though the song is kind of a power ballad, there's a solid beat throughout
Yeah.
the track. And the opening is,
Yeah,
it
true,
feels like,
true. Like,
it feels
okay, we're
like,
starting. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I think Cyprus could have been a good opener, or yeah, or anthemic Belgium, but they've gone with Denmark, and some people think that might indicate that it's big staging, maybe. And like I said, I like Denmark's song, but yeah, I don't think I would have had it opening.
Yeah, me neither. So do you believe that Denmark will qualify?
So honestly, I've been kind of like after it was selected, I was kind of like, it sounds like a qualifier. Like it just sounds like a
Okay.
qualifier. And like in the sense that it feels really current, it feels really fresh. Even though he's older, it's giving youthfulness. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Oh my goodness. So my mom was over my house when it was Denmark's grand final. Well,
Okay.
national final.
Yeah.
My mom got teary-eyed after his performance
What?
because she was like, I'm like, are you crying?
For that
And
with
she
that song?
and she was like, I don't know, it just, looking at like, just like a young performer, performing on the stage in this big crowd. I was like,
Okay.
okay.
That's cute. That's cute. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Like, okay,
Well,
mom.
young. How old is he really?
They said 25. I think
Okay,
he's I
he's
think
still
he's
young. He's
25.
still
Yeah,
young.
he's
He's still
still
very
young.
young.
I mean, I guess because people were thinking he was like a teenager.
Yes,
And I
yes.
think I even said someone was like, why are you calling him a young man? And I was like, first of all, I kind of call everyone like I think
Yeah,
young man, and I'll say like, oh, that girl. I think I'm making everyone like my
yeah.
homegirl, and all the guys are young. I have my dad's in his 80s, so to me, like you got to be like old for me to really consider you like old.
Yeah, yeah. Fair, fair. No, I think 25 you're considered a young man.
Yeah, yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, I
Like I
hope so
hope
too,
25
because I'm
is
31. So I'm like, if you're not considered at 25, what am I considered then?
right, right.
Well, so you said about Belgium. Do you like Belgium?
So it's interesting when Belgium's because we got Belgium song early.
Hmm.
And I've had to clarify this for everyone because, I think in my reaction video, people, because I was just like, oh, I don't know if this is going to be enough. Because I really thought we were going to have a super strong year. Like I thought, because last year didn't feel like super strong. Like it was good,
Hmm.
but it didn't feel super strong. And I feel like we sometimes have a little bit of like a dip. Like we'll have kind of like a weak, I don't want to say weak year, but like a year where it maybe isn't like, this is what I would say. Like last year, I maybe had like 5 songs that I was like, okay, I'd be cool with these 5 songs winning. In
Okay.
comparison, for me, like 2021, where I'm
That was a great
like
year.
I was like, 20 of these countries could win. Like I'd be
Yeah.
fine with like any of it because it was just so much to me, it was so much quality. And like I think the execution was also like top notch.
Yeah.
So this year I thought we were going to be on like an upswing. I was even thinking like the BBC hosting it happening in the UK, like, maybe people are going to kind of be, like
Yeah,
up
they're
the
gonna.
ante a little
Mm,
bit. I don't know. So when Belgium song came out, I think it was like the third song. And to me, I preferred Albania's song because at least Albania was giving us like that ethnic, kind of
a
dramatic,
traditional. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, song. And then, and Ukraine song I've liked all around. I feel like it's super current and forward thinking. So I was like, and then Belgium song was like this nostalgic song from the 90s, which everybody knows I love 90s house music. So, like, my karaoke song is Finally. So,
Yeah, exactly. This is the kind of music it reminds me, and I love it. Like,
yeah. But I was nervous because for me, I was like, okay, it doesn't really sound that modern.
mm,
Like, because it's not doing anything new. It sounds like a song that was made like 96. Mind you, I love that stuff personally. But I'm like, is that really going to be competitive enough this year? And at the time, I was like, no, like,
yeah,
I don't
okay.
think that this is going to be enough. And then we started getting the songs, and I was like, oh, uh, yeah, that this one is fine because at least we're getting. I actually liked the staging at the national selection. I thought we could do some small tweaks to it, but I liked the staging. I actually like his styling. Obviously, he can sing, so we're not going to get any bum notes. So at this point now, I'm kind of like I'd have space for it to
Yeah,
qualify, but I don't think the running order is helping it.
it's
I'm
not.
nervous.
It's
I
not.
think
But
it's varied.
I really hope you qualifies. I really like the song. I love it. I love it.
I
Yeah.
think it's very, I just don't think that they're in the optimal space. I think in sandwiched in between, like some people are hoping like, okay, Estonia is slow. And so then you'll have kind of like the upswing of Belgium. And then, but then it's Cyprus. I just don't think I would have put Gustav next to Andrew.
Yeah. So do you
I
believe
just
Andrew
wouldn't
will
have done it.
qualify?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
could tell you. So I
Yes.
feel more solid about six. So like in semifinal one, I feel like there are like five sure qualifiers. In semifinal two, I feel like there's like kind of five, maybe six-ish.
Okay.
And so I'm thinking now that Denmark is opening the show, I move them from like most likely, like it might edge their, they might just edge their way into it. I now have Denmark kind of sure. Then
Okay.
it's then Cyprus, then Slovenia, then Georgia, Austria, and Australia. And then I have Armenia in my most likely because I don't like Armenia in the second slot. And I
Yeah,
just
the
get a
second slot is a bit scary, but I cannot
yeah.
see a universe where Armenia like
Well, that's why I said it's most likely.
yeah,
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 I said it's most likely going to make it. And then I sort of have, I think Greece is most likely to
yeah.
make it. Like I think it's going to happen. And then I feel like so I'm living in the camp that I don't think we get Lithuania and Estonia. And I think we're going to end up with Lithuania and we're going to miss out on
I
Estonia.
agree with you on that. I very much, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind both. Like if you ask me what I want, it'd probably be a little bit different, but I just think we're not going to get both. So I think it's going to be Lithuania.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And then, but then I would say Belgium, I could see a world where Belgium gets in and then maybe Albania sits it out. But I just
Mm.
feel like if Sasha could do staging to get Switzerland to qualify last year, I feel like what Albania is giving is something a lot of people come to Eurovision for. So
That's
to
true.
so to me, I know some people are thinking that Albania doesn't make it this year, but the crazy thing is Albania, for the most part, most people think it won't make it like every year. And they kind
I'm
of
one
do.
of those people. Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
that they will make it.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like I think Albania still has a chance. But I think it could be a world where it's between Albania and Belgium. But I think Albania coming where it is in the running order actually is helpful for
Okay.
them. But I also can see a battle between maybe we don't like a battle between Greece, Belgium, and Denmark. And maybe we only get one of
Okay.
those. I could see a world where maybe that happens. I feel more confident about Greece being able to make it. Like I sort of have Greece in my most likely spot.
Also
The
because of the
you
countries that are competing. So we have Cyprus that's going to vote for Greece, probably Albania as well. Uh, yeah,
but I think also Greece's song, it feels very like radio friendly. It's like I've told people I actually like Greece's song more than Cyprus this year.
I say the same thing because
Yeah.
Cyprus song is a bit more generic in my ears. Like I've heard this song, while Greece, at least there is something weird in the music, like something interesting happening there that I'm like, okay. And then he's also 16, and you might say, oh, he look at this cute child, like your mom said about
Right.
the, yeah,
Like
exactly.
if there's a story like he's 60 and I think his voice is so rich.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
actually, I think the difference for me between Cyprus's song and Greece's song this year is there's something about Greece's song that has a little bit of that authenticity factor.
mm,
And I always say at Eurovision, you can't count out the guys with the guitar. There's
true.
something about the guys with the guitar. They don't have to do a whole lot on the stage, and somehow they can just make it through. So I
Yeah,
always
true.
say, I'm like, the guys with the guitar, you got to kind of look out for them. They're the silent.
Yeah.
Silent but deadly.
But I also believe that the staging this year might be like I have high hopes for it because I know they changed in Greece the person who is doing the staging.
Okay.
So for many years it has been the same person.
Right.
Now they changed it, and this person who is now, he is a very big director for physical theater and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So he might bring something new and interesting to the table. So I can't wait to see that. Like
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I think with semifinal two, it's tricky because yeah, I think I'm concerned about Belgium now. So I would say after we got the songs, I was like, oh, Belgium is. I was like, okay, I think Belgium's gonna make it. Um, but then when we got the running order, I was like, okay, Belgium is feeling like if it makes it, it's borderline.
yeah,
Like it
okay,
might be on the cusp, and I do worry that people might choose the Cyprus and the Greece and then not go for Belgium. I don't know, but Belgium, it's just feeling really anthemic and it's easy to catch on to and sing along to it. I just hope that they don't, because Belgium, doesn't have a great track record with the staging. And I just hope
yeah.
I would almost prefer them just to do what they did at the national
I
selection.
agree. I really liked it. I loved it.
Yeah, I think that's their best bet. I would get nervous if they mixed it up because yeah, their track record
Mm.
hasn't been great. So I'm like I would just stick to
But I have faith that they will, if they will not do exactly the same, they will do something similar because I know that Gustav, like the staging was like his husband did it. So it's between
Mm,
them two to decide. I don't know if the broadcaster will try to change things, but I think the team is a family basically, and they're doing their
hmm.
thing. So I think they will keep it like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Let's see. And which are your choices from this semifinal?
Oh, so I think here's the thing, and this is maybe indicative of my slight opinion on the year. Honestly, there's probably only 8 songs that I kind of want to see advance from
Okay.
the semi, but I'll tell you, but no, but I'll tell you like I'll give you my 10.
Okay.
So what I'd want to see advance would be Denmark, Armenia, Iceland, Slovenia, Georgia, Austria, Albania, Australia. And then I'd probably say Greece and Belgium. I
Okay.
could I could sit out Cyprus this year, but I just feel like I know they're going to make it. So I think part of that is like I just don't feel the fervency
Yeah.
to make me like want to fight for it because I just feel like it's
Like they're
going to
gonna
make
make it
it.
anyway. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, an Iceland song I just don't think it's going to make it, but I really like it. It's one
Really,
of
I
my
think it's
favorite.
gonna make it. I love it this year.
I don't think so. I don't think the running. I think sandwich between Cyprus and Greece. I just don't.
Mm.
I mean, if it, yeah, well, what are your qualifiers? Because I'm like, because who are you saying is going to sit it out? Because I think what I have is,
I think
I'm like,
Denmark is gonna sit it out. I don't think
oh,
Denmark
okay.
is gonna
So
qualify.
you think Denmark won't make it, but Iceland
But
would
then,
take that slot.
yes, yes, that's what I
Okay.
think.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that. I
Yeah,
wouldn't be mad at that.
yeah, I can't like I know I can't see Iceland not qualifying, but I really hope that this is not the case. Like I really like this song, and Delia
Yeah.
was like so endearing on stage by herself at the national final, and she did it all by herself, and she was great. I really liked it.
Yeah, no, it's her vocal. I really want I mean, even just for the vocal pipes in the moment,
Mm.
I want it in the final, but I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know if it's gonna
We'll
happen.
see. We'll see. Wait, I want to ask you some fun questions, okay?
Okay.
So they're not all fun, but yeah. Which song had the best national final performance for you?
Hmm. That like one?
Yes, from
That
the ones that
one?
won and they are in the Eurovision Song Contest.
Ooh, I mean, well, Spain, Blanca Paloma, because literally there's nothing I would change about it.
I know.
It was like her vocal, there was not one bum note, not by her. There wasn't a dissonant line of singing. Everything was just perfect. The clothes were perfect. The staging concept was perfect. And I don't think even some of our front runners this year can say that their, national selection performances were perfect.
True, true. Yeah, I agree completely. I was shocked when I saw it. I was like, well, we have a winner. And then Lorraine came, and I'm like, maybe we have a competition there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Lorien, the vocal hasn't always been perfect. That's
Oh,
why
be
I'm like, if
careful
I'm gonna
about
be
that
fair,
because I
it
had a
hasn't.
I had a friend saying the same thing in this channel, and people came for us.
Look, but the vocal had, but to be fair,
I
it's,
agree.
it hasn't always been perfect.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like Blanca Paloma sounded like the studio cut.
Mm.
I mean, like it sounded like the studio cut, where if you really wanted to analyze, and I mean, I'm picking, like if you
Yeah,
analyzed
yeah, yeah. I know what
the
you're talking about.
performance,
I
the
agree.
vocal wasn't perfect.
Mm.
Like if we're, that's the difference. I'm not saying it's bad. There's a difference
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
between
Exactly.
not perfect and bad. There's a
Yeah, yeah.
huge difference. Like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't perfect.
Yeah. It wasn't at the Blanca Paloma level where
Whereas,
she was.
but but then I'm also not saying we also have to look at, difficulty. Some people might say what Lorien is doing is more difficult and more
Exactly.
vocally challenging than
Mm.
what Blanca is doing. So, we can talk about that. That's a different thing. But
Yeah.
ultimately, it's all about how you bring the song to life. And
Mm.
so, matching the studio cut, some people might have an expectation of that.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, question number two for you. Although I think you kind of answered that, but I will ask it. Who has the most impactful voice? Is there someone who gives you shivers when you listen to their voice?
Oh, yeah, Dilia.
Odelia,
Yeah, from
okay.
Iceland. Yeah, I mean her vocal could literally bring tears to my eyes. I mean, I like Lorien too. I mean, I cried. My reaction, I was not expecting to cry, but I also have been following, Lorien. So I wouldn't say that listening to her perform was, surprising. I
Mm,
have listened to songs before and she has made me
yeah,
cry. So, so I would say of the surprise, yeah, like I didn't like I getting into my reaction for Iceland, I was like, oh, like, and listening to it like in the headphones, it's like these runs, like
yeah,
this vocal, like,
mm,
okay, girl. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, amazing. Great. Question number three. Who has the best outfit for you? Who had the best outfit in a national final performance?
Hmm. Well, for the ladies, Lazara.
Oh, yes.
And for the guys, I mean, I gotta go with Karia from Finland. I
Okay,
mean,
okay.
we need the green bolero. Like he's gonna have to
Yeah,
live the next 20 years of his life in that green
yeah,
bolero.
forever. I think that he will become one of those singers when they will wear the same costume forever. You know, they will do these gigs with the same song for the whole
Oh yeah.
life.
We need it. I'm rocking the green, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's iconic. Like it will stay in the Eurovision outfits forever.
Yes.
Question number four. Who do you think is the hottest this year?
Well, every year I have a Eurovision boyfriend. And
Okay,
I haven't yet. It's like weird. This year, I don't know. The ladies are pulling my heart
we have a
more than
lot
the
of
guys.
sexy ladies this year. That's true.
um, oh, I'll go with Marco. That's a good looking man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I agree. Hi, Marco.
As a good looking, well styled man. Yeah.
I
We'll
know.
go with
Right?
Marco.
Those Italians. Okay. Question number five. Who has the most memorable song for you?
Ooh, I mean, I'm gonna I'm gonna say Norway because when I
Okay.
think of Eurovision this year, that's kind of the first song my brain goes to, and then I start filling in the other ones. Like I sort of start with
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
like you know
I
like
know.
and then it's like everything else sort of like fills in after. I will also say my daughter it like loves the song, so
Okay.
that's
How
like a
old is your
must.
daughter?
She's 2.5,
Okay.
so that's the song in the car that she'll be like, okay, again.
Oh,
You
that's so
know, and again, like
cute.
some other songs, she'll be like, okay, I want another song. Like she's fine with it going to the next one, but that's like one, it's sort of like again,
Oh, that's
again.
so nice.
Yeah.
That's cute. Uh, Question number 6. Which is the most memorable video for you?
Oh,
Music video. Yeah.
Finland.
Finland. Okay.
Finland,
Yeah.
yeah. Probably, yeah. Because just yeah, that the boxing ring, and I just love how UMK like invests in their artists. It I just what they provide for the artists, it's just a deal where I'm like, yeah, people are gonna want to participate in the national selection in Finland.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't followed national selections before. I started this year because of the channel. And I was like very impressed with UMK. Like they
Oh,
really
it's top
supported
notch.
the artists. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it.
Question number 7. Which is for you the most underrated song?
Ooh. Mm, well, it's like weird. Maybe I think there's kind of like maybe 3 to 4 songs I have. And I would say like Latvia, I'm beginning not to say that it's underrated because I do think in the fandom, we all really like it. So it might be like underrated in the sense that we're all nervous for it,
Hmm.
but we all like it. Like
I
I
know.
truly, I have not had anyone go like Latvia's song is bad. Like even in my live streams, like I don't recall seeing the like, oh, how can you like Latvia's song? It's so bad. Like
Yeah, never.
I
I've
don't,
never seen.
yeah, I can't recall. So I think that one we're just so nervous for. So we're like kind of not hyping it maybe in the way that we want to because we're like, we don't want to be heartbroken. I would say with Portugal, a little bit, because honestly, with Portugal, I think that that song is so joyful. And
Hmm.
I think on the stage, like, because I even have it as sort of like a borderline qualifier, but I am hoping once we start seeing the rehearsals of at least like the first semifinal, that it will become very clear that Portugal is solid.
And why do you think it's underrated? Have you seen people saying that I don't like it or stuff like that?
I think it's just because the first semifinal is really tough. We
Hmm.
know that Portugal has like done well typically, I'd say in the Portuguese comeback at Eurovision, the
Yeah,
juries for the most part have been helping them, and so now we don't have any juries at
true.
all to help them. So I think with Portugal, it's a little bit of the same case as Latvia, except for the fact that I think the locals are gonna like Portugal way more than even I think what people in the bubble are accounting for. Because I just think it's gonna be joyful, it's gonna be fun. It could have maybe not as much, but it could have a little bit of like the effect that Moldova had last year, where it was like, this is just like in your face, fun, joyful. And I mean, Mimi Cat is going to sing it well, so we're not going to have low
Definitely.
notes, you know. And Portugal's been doing very well with their staging lately. So I think that this might end up being more of a solid qualifier than what we think. And then I would just say, I think Serbia is really underrated this year. I just feel like after Luke was picked, because I think there was a little hype and buzz around him, just even in the national selection. And then after he was picked, it was kind of like, yeah, okay, well, we're still going to be talking about like Spain,
Yeah,
Norway,
yeah.
Finland. You know what I mean? We're still talking about like kind of these other countries. And I think people are taking they're placing too much weight in what happened at the national selection as like what is going to happen on the stage in Liverpool. And like,
And I actually liked what happened in the national selection. I really liked it.
I did too, but I think they're going to upgrade. You know, I think they're going to,
Definitely, yeah.
yeah, it's going to be more grand. So,
I can't wait. Like, Look Black is my second, like,
oh
it's
yeah.
on my number two of my whole top 10 from all of the songs, all 37
Yeah,
songs.
no, I love it. And then I would just say I think we are I think as a fandom folks are underrating Iceland. I think Iceland's really good. I like it.
Yeah, I like it as well. I agree. Okay. So this is the moment where I usually ask for top 10, but you've done your top 10 in your channel. Do you stick by it?
I think I'm gonna have some more movement in my
Okay.
top 10. I think so. I'm gonna do like a final kind of locked in top 10 in about 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
before, you know, before rehearsals, I'll have my locked in top 10. And I think where there's gonna be some shifts is I think there's some songs that I had kind of in my like pile that I'm beginning to love
Okay, which are those
over.
songs?
Um, I think that France has
Mm-hmm.
just had some sticking power for me, and Portugal, I think, could be seeing a shift. Those are the two notable
Yeah.
changes, but it'll be complicated because it's not like anything in my top 10 right now I'm liking less. So,
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's so weird with it, like because some songs we have them for so long and some others it's so recent. So it's very confusing and probably we need time with all of them.
yeah. And I
Okay.
think Norway is ticking up for me because Norway I
Okay.
liked in the beginning, and then I think I got sick of it. Like,
Yeah.
I think I was just playing it too much. But now I'm like, oh, no,
Is it coming
I think it's
back?
coming back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I know. I have these journeys with these songs as well. It's
Yeah.
so interesting. But also everything is gonna change within first rehearsals, like when we're gonna see what they're gonna do. Like that's
Well,
where
and
everything changes.
it changes, but it might not because this year we're not seeing the first rehearsals. We'll just get like snippets of it. And I think unless there's like real departures from the core performances or like truly we find out that this person can't sing live. So I
Mm,
would say like a Roxanne moment because Roxanne to me was like solid qualifier, and then it was like, oh no,
yeah.
like she's not run through the song vocally perfect
Mm,
ever. So it was so unless we have that, I think there won't be that much movement, I think. And I guess some people have questions about like, I don't know, Sweden staging, and I'm just like, it's SVT. They'll figure it out.
yeah, they'll figure it out. I'm not scared of that. Yeah. But I'm also like wondering what's gonna happen with the UK, like because
I think it's gonna be fine. I like that song. I think it closing the show was good for them. I think
mhm.
I think that's where they want to be. And I definitely think the UK has an opportunity to come top 10. Not win, but
Yeah,
like
no, yeah, yeah.
top 10, I could see it. I
I
could
thought
see
so
it.
as well. But then we've seen the live performances, but on the other hand, she's sick, so I don't know if you've heard here. So yeah, everyone has
I
questions now.
think the clip that I saw from the sick performance, I didn't like I think I said this in the Ladies' Choice live stream. It wasn't her vocal I was concerned about. It was the styling and the choreo that was concerning me. That
Well,
was what I was like, who
well,
cares about the singing?
Dua Lipa
What are we wearing?
can't dance either, but she's a pop star.
Well, but that's what I mean. I feel like even the choreo, that's what I'm saying. I didn't like even just the
Yeah, yeah,
choreo package. Like I was like, I wouldn't have her do this.
yeah.
Like, and I'm all here for a lazy choreo moment. Like keep it cute, make it
Yeah,
something we can
exactly,
all
exactly.
like, latch on to. So I don't need full out choreography, but I do need it to be like well executed with camera angles that flatter us.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's true. So if you had potential winners this year, who are they?
I think it's a little battle of the Nordics between, because I think Norway's not out. I think Norway is
Okay.
actually, and it's weird because I don't know, but I don't think that Norway's going to win. So I don't think it's out of the running and out of the winner potential conversation. But my instinct, like something in my gut is like, it's not going to win.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's just something about that. I'm like, yeah, but it won't win. But I do think we could have moments in the voting sequence where there's going to be some 12 points
Yeah,
given to
12 points. Yeah,
Norway,
yeah.
like from the juries and whatnot. And the televote, I don't think is going to blanket.
Yeah, agree.
So I think it's solid there. But I think it's Norway, Finland, Sweden, and I think way too many people are not counting in Spain. And it's sort of weird to me, but I feel like Spain could be in the scenario because I remember in 2021 I said this, but I was like, all of y'all are literally forgetting San Remo in Italy. After they have that first rehearsal, you all will remember again. Because honestly, like I think people were thinking like, oh, France is just gonna get this. And I'm
Yeah,
like, is everyone just forgetting about the first moment that we saw Måneskin perform at San Remo? And I think people are forgetting a little bit
mm,
what they experienced when they first saw Blanca at Benidorm and remembering that everyone else is going to be having that experience for the first time.
exactly.
So I think that Spain is very much so still in the conversation, and we should not forget that. I also will say, like, Ukraine is definitely still in the conversation. And I say it more so because although they probably won't get the amount of televote scores this year, because I think people are going to spread out a little bit more, I think that Ukraine has the opportunity to do much better with the jury this year than they did last year. I think they were fourth in the
Yeah,
jury
that's true.
last year, but like this year, because they're really doing stuff that the juries, historically speaking, have tended
They like
to
it. Yeah, yeah.
like.
Mm.
So I kind of feel like even if Ukraine is like top three in the jury, which I could see a world where that happens, and then
Mm-hmm.
they're second in the televote.
True.
Um, because I do think that I it's weird. I keep having this vision where Blanca just edges out Lorien in the jury. Like it's like she just edges out Lorien, but then I have this moment of Sweden still being able to win because they're like second in the
Yeah, exactly.
jury.
And then the
And then
televotes
yeah, and then the
happens. Yeah,
televote there may be second because Finland is winning the televote. Like
that's
that.
true.
Finland
That's
is winning the televote.
definite. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true.
But then I would say, but then it makes me a little bit nervous for Sweden because I could see a world where maybe like Finland wins the televote, but then maybe Norway comes second.
Oh.
Like I could see that
Mm.
scenario, and then we get what like an arcade, like how Duncan Lawrence sort of won.
Okay. Yeah,
Where
yeah.
it's a little bit, yeah, where it's a little bit like tighter. But just being top three in each bucket, then Sweden gets to win. Because like I don't know if Norway's gonna be top three with the jury. It's
With the jury.
possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We
possible.
have a
Like,
lot of jury songs this year, so yeah, I'm not sure where Norway will stand. Like I don't know because we have Spain, we have Sweden, we have eh,
well, I
Portugal
think
will do good with the
Portugal, I
juries, I
think will
think.
do if they make it to the
If they
final. I
make
could
it, yeah,
see, yeah, I could see Portugal doing well with the jury. If the Netherlands makes it to the
true.
final, the Netherlands will do well with the jury. I think I'm kind of counting out Czech Republic, but I think Czech Republic is still like, or Czechia is still like a solid top 10 finisher. And I think France is a good jury song. I think
France,
they're
yeah,
going to be, yeah, I think there's going to be some juries that really, really like what France is doing. So
exactly.
I could see
And
France top
Italy
five. Well, but this is the thing that I think folks are forgetting. The juries have never really been that kind.
with
Like I feel like
Italy.
Yeah, I always feel like the jury puts Italy like 3 points behind where they probably should end.
Okay. I
Like,
haven't
like I
noticed
just
that. I don't
every
know why. I haven't noticed that.
it's like every time I look, it's like y'all are like 3 points off, like three places. It's like it should
Okay.
just so it's like wherever the jury puts Italy, you should really move them up 3 slots, and that's probably where they should be, but like aren't. So that's why I'm nervous for Italy a little bit this year. I mean, I'm not really nervous. I think Italy will do fine. But I could even see a world like I could see a world where Italy's in the top 10 of the jury. Um, but ultimately because
But
of
not
like the
in.
combo,
Mm.
but not finishing top 10. I could see that.
Yes, because it's a classic Italian ballad like we've used to in the olden days of Eurovision. But now Eurovision has changed a bit. So yeah, I agree. I agree with you. And I completely agree with you for Spain.
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, there's just this weird world where I wonder if, because, and I think like, so with Italy, I realize that I think a lot of us are comparing Italy to their previous entries as opposed to comparing Italy to like what we have.
Yeah, true.
So it's like, well, I like Soldi better. I like Brividi. Well, Brividi and Soldi are not competing
They're
this
not
year.
competing this year, exactly.
So I think that's sort of unfair. But I wonder if some jurors might from some countries might go like, well, we loved Euphoria. I like Euphoria better than this one. So then they don't give it the 12 points.
Oh,
Like I don't, and so that's why then maybe Spain has a chance to like
yeah,
just like because this is the thing. I think we've been seeing not as tight jury scores like because what was it like Salvador like just kind of decisively. I think that was like the last time we had like a decisive
yeah.
win where it was like won the jury, won the televote, like
Mm.
it's a done, it's a done deal. That's the last time that we had that because ever since then it's been, sort of
Yeah, one or the other. Like Maneskin was totally televote. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right. So I just wonder if some people might have like where it's sort of like what previous winner, previous performer, if there's going to be a tax kind of added on that, where it's like, well, we've seen it before. And I will say I have seen some comments from some folks that maybe they won't feel that's why I'm worried for Sweden in the televote because it is kind of like, well, she's going to make it. So I don't need to pick up
to
my
vote for
phone
her.
for
Yeah.
her. Like I need to pick up my phone for like these other folks. And I
Okay.
have seen some people go like in comments, well, she already won. I don't think it's fair
I've
for like
seen that. I've
previous
seen that.
winners to come back. And so that just is what makes me go, well, then maybe she doesn't come top two. Well, I don't think she's coming top two with the televote. I think in our fandom, if we were all just voting,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, it
Yeah.
would be it would be fine. But yeah, I do see a scenario where maybe she comes second with the jury, but then she's like top five with the televote. But
Okay.
then it's like the two, but then where she could still win is like perhaps what the televote is really interested in, the jury is not so much. So that'd be like maybe a Finland,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
maybe a Finland situation. I don't know. And I think, yeah, I think math wise, we're still talking about Sweden. We're still talking about Spain. We have to talk about Finland because of the televote. Um, and our potential winners could be easier to suss out than what we think. And I think just in the fandom, people aren't talking about Ukraine, but like Ukraine is there.
No, I agree. I completely agree that Ukraine is completely there. Like, yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, I think I agree with who you have as potential winners. It's between them. But I don't feel, do you feel that we have a clear winner this year? For now, because things might change.
Well, if we have a clear winner right now, people are thinking Sweden.
Sweden, yeah, I think that as
And
well.
and I mean, do I just feel runaway that Sweden's getting it? No.
No.
I don't feel that way. And the last time I felt this way was 2021 in France.
Mm.
It was just something about it where I just was like, well, with France that year, I was just like, I just don't see it winning. Like, I was like, I see it doing well. I see it coming close, but I just don't see the trophy in like
Yeah.
Barbara's hands. And I'm like, I don't know why. Like, and there's something with Sweden where I'm like, it almost feels like the calm before the storm, maybe, where everyone's,
Okay.
yeah, where everyone's just like, it's Sweden, cool. Like, SVT can host, it feels very safe. And we're just not thinking about locals. Like,
Yeah.
we're just not counting locals at all right now, right now.
Mm.
And I mean, I think some of us are even maybe thinking like, oh yeah, but the locals will remember her as Euphoria, and thinking that that's an advantage and not counting the fact that for some people that might be a disadvantage.
Yeah, exactly. It has happened before with previous winners where they come with a song that is not as strong and then they don't win. Alexander Rybak,
Right.
Lena, we've seen this before. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and even I think, but an unfair comparison where they're not judging them based off of their actual competition. They're
Yeah.
judging them based off of their previous entry.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I think that Lorraine's song is as strong. I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
love it. I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
it.
I love
I
it as
think
well. Yeah.
I think the song is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the song is great. But I mean, I have heard. I just I wonder more about the people who just go, she already won.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have to pick up my
There
phone
are
and
a lot
call
of
for her.
people who say that in the comments. Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, Alicia.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. It was a pleasure to have you and have this conversation with you. And thank you everyone for watching this video. Like and subscribe, share with everyone you want, your mom, your grandmom, your whoever. And I will have Alicia's link for your channel down in the description. You probably know it better than mine, but anyway. And see you very soon at another video. Bye.